TikTok and YouTube. We have lots that we do here at CarolJo's.com. But before I get into all that, I am waiting for both social media platforms to let everybody know I am live. Here we go. All right. Welcome in. So Carol Jo's is an online jewelry and accessory business for women. I don't actually promote or sell the jewelry a whole lot here on social media. Is what I do instead. Hi, Melissa. Hi, Ashley. That we do other things here. We will do chat times, which I do twice a week, except for the last couple of weeks. Next week, we will definitely have, well, I won't say next week because we still have swimming lessons, which takes into some of my time here. Thank you for the heart me, Melissa. I appreciate that. But we try to do 2 chats a week. We try to do 2 tutorials a week, which is what today is. Today is a tutorial, and I'll show you what it is in a moment. And then we do sell the beads. The selling is done on TikTok only. I don't do that on YouTube. Sorry. But what today's tutorial is about is I'm calling this one the Harvest Stack. And it's not about the technique. It's more about how to use different colors to create a stacked bracelet. So that's what we're going to be talking about more today. For those of you on TikTok, if you guys could share out the live, that would be amazing. The faster we do that once we go live, the more people will get in here. Also, if we can get to 10K on our likes, then we will do giveaways. 10 shares, 10 likes equals a giveaway. All right. So when I say we're going to talk about colors and how we're going to get them to go together, it's more, I should go a little bit further. It's about the shape of the beads too. So if you've noticed here on this one, I have done all of the colored beads. The glass beads are all rondelles. I personally have a hard time mixing rondelles and like rounds or squares and that type of thing. And I usually stick with one shape when I'm creating stacks, but it doesn't have to be that way. I ended up here when I went to do for the one that we're going to do on today, I grabbed different shapes. They're not all rondelles. I grabbed a lot of circle beads. We'll see how it goes, but that is more me. So I just want to let you all know that is a me thing. And if you guys can mix up your shapes, awesome. Hi, Miss Joya. How are you today? But what I wanted to really talk about is when you're looking at a theme, and I really did this as a theme. Hi, Meg, because it's the harvest colors. Awesome to hear, Miss Joya. And that is harvest colors, when we think about them, are like deep reds, like we have here, the darker reds. It's also about oranges and yellows. I did not put yellows. I did grab yellow to start to try to do this. And you'll notice this one's a started bracelet. I haven't taken and cut the ends off. But I did make one with yellow. And to me, this is harvest, but I could not get this one where I can make it into a stack. So I've got to think this one through a little bit more. But those 3 colors, the other colors, and those are more of what I would call like the crops that you get at harvest, you know, the corn, the pumpkins, and, you know, like you're in the fall is when apple season is, or like, I don't know when cranberries, but that's another harvest thing that I think about with the reds. So that's where, so some of them come from what I would say the product that is being produced in the fall. The other thing to think about is for fall colors or the harvest colors are your natural colors that you find in nature during harvest season. And for me, that is like the dark greens, or I know this is going to sound weird to say, but a beige. You will get that beige. You're not going to have a deep brown. You're going to have a beige in there. And then the other one that comes to my mind is like, and I don't have one here, is like just light. Well, I do have a light green, the lighter greens too, because your leaves are starting to turn colors. Your leaves will be the dark red or dark green to a light green, and even have like a medium green in there. So you'll have different shades of green. And that's what I have here is 3 different shades of green. Let me put those back in the containers. There we go. So think about, you can have the shades because it will go in different shades as you're going through it. Then you can also use accent colors that you have in there. And I know it's more of a Halloween color, and I think that, yep, ambers and burgundies. See, and that's where you're just getting those really rich, deep, warm colors. And that's what we need to think about. And one of the accent colors that I always think about, and I know it's more associated with Halloween, but I do, when I think fall and the fall colors, is like a purple. And this one is a deep purple. And, you know, like eggplants and that type of thing. So it's more of an accent color. And so I wanted to use the accent color of purple in this. So that is what we do. That's what I looked at when I was selecting colors. Now, Joya put in the comments here that, you know, she was looking at the ambers and the burgundies as like her favorite fall colors. Do you guys have favorite fall colors, or what colors do you think of when you think fall? And that's what this harvest stack was about, is let's think about autumn, fall, harvest time. What colors can we pull out of that? And one of the things that's hard, and sometimes we have to take a color wheel and go, okay, I have one color in my mind, but what will go with it? And you can grab a color wheel and do that if you want. Or you can just start grabbing colors and see what goes together. But I would love to know what your guys' favorites. Golds and browns is Deborah's. See, and I had a hard time getting yellow to actually fit in here. I went with more of the beigey brown color. To me, when I looked at it, that was more fall. But for metals, hello, and that's beads, right, Ms. Taco for me? I just got to ask, because I'm like looking at it going, I think that's who it is. I'm trying to remember. Over here on YouTube, we have Ms. Taco for me. And I'm like almost positive it's beads, but I want to make sure. But when we think metals, I personally have a hard time using the bright gold. I would like to, hey, I did get it right. Thank you. I like to use the light gold, or I have here like this. This is a lighter gold. Ooh, Joya likes using gunmetal in it. I don't have a whole lot of gunmetal beads, in all honesty. But here, whoops, that's the wrong side. Here we go. We also have antique bronze. So we can get out of the silver mode and get into some of the other colors of metals. Ashley has bronze, orange, burgundy, and dark green. And it's funny because sitting on my table, I have everything but burgundy, everybody. Yep, and you can do copper. I stay away from copper as much as possible when I'm creating jewelry. And the reason being is that, yes, people do have the nickel allergy, but people that have the nickel allergy sometimes will wear more with nickel if you actually had something that had it in it. But those that are allergic to copper will not buy anything from you if you have copper on there. And I know it sounds really weird to hear, but if I had copper on and they had a copper allergy, they would just walk on by. And they didn't ask or didn't like engage with you after that, you know, you found out they had the copper allergy, and you would try to be like, okay, stay away from this, go here. And they were just like, yep, I'm out. It's just weird. So I try to stay away from copper as much as possible. And really what copper does is it's a reaction to your pH balance, and that is what you're having. All right. Yep. Cherie is agreeing with me on it. People just don't like the copper. For this project, thank you, Lori, for the heart me. I've been missing you too. I saw you post a comment on something last night, and I was like, I haven't seen you in forever, but I know it's okay. So here, this is what we were going to be using. My big old thing of stretch cord. That's what this is here. I'm going to show you there on TikTok. It's just the clear stretch cord. This one is 0.8 millimeter. Yep, I know you guys don't like to be green. We'll need that. For a tool, I just need my bead stopper, a pair of scissors, and depending on if you need to measure out how much cord you have, you might need a ruler. Our other thing that we're going to need is hypo cement glue. And that might be upside down. Yes, it is. There we go. But it's backwards for you guys. Oh boy. So that is what you're going to need for supplies. I'm going to point you guys down and you guys are going to see how I'm going to create. I'm just creating 3. It's a stretchy bracelet, everybody. It's really about putting the beads together and that process. So when I go down, you guys are going to see some of the beads that I have. If they're going to be in camera, I might have to put them in camera. But some of the beads that I have and then the process that I go through to create. Just like I did here, I used interchangeably the beads between the 3 different bracelets. As you can tell, this one doesn't have green. This one doesn't have red. So all 3 have orange. So they have one thing in common. They all have the 3 have that orange. We want to have like something that ties each one of them together, but I'm not making them the same. That is our goal for today's tutorial, is how to make 3 bracelets that I can stack together, that the theme of them all goes cohesively with the colors. The middle is on it is, nope, that one is, it actually, I'm going to show you here. This is something I was going to talk about, but Joya brought it up. She said, is this one here, it was in the middle before. Is that for your ankle? Nope. The thing to think about, I got my other ones. Let me put them on my other wrist. Your wrist, if you look at it, it gets bigger as you go up. It is not the same size. So do not make all 3 the same size. Make them all a little bit different in size, as you can tell. And then they'll move around on your wrist. They won't be stuck or that type of thing. So make them different sizes. That's why these 3 are this way, because I'm going to wear this on the biggest part of my arm and then go all the way down to the closest part to my hand, because that's the smallest. That makes sense? And I was going to say that, but I forgot about it. I had it in my mind, but I left my mind. So thank you. Okay. Yes, I'm using stretch cord, or stretchy, clear stretch, like Stretch Magic is what it's the equivalent of it. Let me get my bead mat down. So I don't need my scissors on camera. All right, so for beads, I have little clear containers that I put them in today. I have 3 different colors of greens here. We have, if I put them in the right order here, maybe this way. They're all different shades of green. We have the darkest green. This is the most transparent with the least amount of green, but is a darker green than this one. So we have 3 different colors of greens that we're working with today. This one is the faceted rondelle, round and round. The 2 rounds are 6 millimeter. The faceted rondelle is 6 by 4 millimeters. Then we have what I'm going to call my brown family. We have a beige colored 6 by 5 millimeter rondelle and a 6 millimeter round. And then for an accent color, we have the purple in a 4 millimeter. And then I don't know which one of the beads that I'm going to use with this, but I got these 2. I'm thinking I'm leaning more towards this one, but we'll see. And there was a lot of glare back from the ring lights on that. All right. First up, I'm going to cut off. When I have a bead mat, I just use the length of my bead mat to cut my string. Literally, that's what I use most of the time. I hope so, Joya. When I was picking them out, I was like, oh, I'm loving this one. So just to let y'all know, the green was up for sale on Wednesday night. These four are my personal collection, so those won't be up. This one, I only have 4 strands left because I was trying to put that one in a bag. I broke it. I only had 5, but I do have it in a different size. I have it in an 8mm also. So we're going to have 8 and 6mm of this bead tonight. Alrighty, got my bead stopper on my cord. Now I'm going to figure out what is going to be my first one. I think I'm going to try that bead. I don't know if I want that dark. And with, I got to decide here. Do I want that one? Or do I want this one? Ooh, I think I want this one. Because I don't want it, I want it to be an accent. All right. So our first bracelet is going to be that combination. And if you guys can't see it, it is, I'll bring it up. Whoops, our purple's moved. The purple, the green, and then that beige rondelle. All right. So we're just going to put our beads on. So that's our pattern. I like it. Oh, I almost dropped these greens. Holy buckets. That would have been a big whoop. All right. Let's create another one of this one. We'll create this whole bracelet. Oh, I really do like this one. Whoops, I dropped that bead. You should see our bead soup bowl, Joya. Did you get to see it the other day? He does not want to go in. We have a big, big bowl of beet soup. Well, that one's going to be in beet soup. Oh, let me see. Ooh, that would be cool. I'll show you guys the beet soup here in just a little bit. Before we get off, don't let me forget to do that. I'm waiting for our spoon to get here so that we can start doing the beet soup out of the bowl. So there goes another one on the floor. If you guys would have watched that one, it was like there was no catching that one. These beads have a very, very, very small hole. Like they're a 0.8. I kid you not. It's like, holy wow. I can't wait. Next week, my glasses will be in, so I'll be able to bead better. I'll be able to see better to bead. They just didn't say what day probably until they get it back from the lab. And it was funny because Ryan was like, is one going to have a prescription and one not? And I said, yeah, that is what's going to happen. All right, there is what we've got so far. Hi, Angela. I think I'm going to do one more. Haha, I got that one on without flying it somewhere. That one's a bigger one. Let's use that one. Ooh, my wrist popped. I need another green. There we go. There we go. Oh boy. And did it help you out then? Because I've heard when people have cataract surgery, it is so easy. It's like a night and day difference. And then we're just creating the knot in here. And there's the first one of our stack. Now watch, this one will be a Carol size bracelet because it's small. Yes, it is. I should have probably put one more on there before I did that, but it'll fit me. All right, so there's bracelet. I'm just going to set this one up here. I'm going to put the rest of these back. I'm going to probably use this as my bead then for my spacer. Now we got to come up with another one that is a little bit different. And I'm going to use my round bead. I think I want the dark one this time. I think I just want to do these two beads. Yeah, so when I had my LASIK done, they said I could do things for close up. I could do readers like you're talking about, or do what I did. And doing what I did, we found out really hampers now for some reason after having everything done. It hampers me seeing when I want to make jewelry. So that's why I'm going to get those. But everything else is like, wow. I'm really satisfied with it. Let's see what this one looks like. I don't know that I want that much of that bead on there. I'm gonna change it up. I was doing like, hi Candy. I was gonna do that spacer bead in between each one, but it was, to me, the spacer was taking away from the color. So I changed it to this. So we have the spacer, a dark green, that beige color, and dark green, and then a spacer. That is going to be our pattern that we're going to use. And if you noticed, I did do 2 different shapes on this one. If you notice when I put them out, I had 2 different shades of green, and I just went with the one that looked better together to me, because if I would have done like this one and this one together, they're too light. And I'm going to show you up close. Those to me were too light. That's why I ended up going with the darker green. So you just have to sometimes just play around, but don't take a lot of time playing around. Does that make sense? This green that we're using was the green that we used on the other set and the green that we had up for sale on Wednesday. The one that I'm using now. Ooh, that's a great one. Joya on YouTube said that this would be great for St. Patrick's Day too. So multi-purpose. Okay, I need a different one that has a bigger hole. You just gotta go. Just like, okay, so did it, no, I'm not using memory wire. Sorry, I don't see comments all the time on YouTube because you're pointed down. So if I didn't mean to like not answer you. I am using stretch cord. I'm not using memory wire for this to create this stack. So this is an 8 millimeter or 0.8 millimeter stretch cord, like Stretch Magic, or I'm trying to think of another brand name. I just buy it in bulk, so I don't buy the brand name. I buy, it is 1,000 meters at a time. Don't you, okay. We're not putting a clasp on these, Angela. We're going to tie these. So when I go to tie this one, I'll spend some time and show you, okay? The last one I didn't do that with. Whoop, I need green. This is a 3 stack, but it wasn't meant to, I didn't make it together. I just put it together with stuff that I have. So this is a toggle closure one. See right here, we have a toggle on it. And it's just black and clear beads together. The red has a silver in between, and then my Swarovski crystal one. So those are my stack. You're welcome. And it's just, these are bracelets that I have sitting on my, that I have sitting for me to wear. And I was like, I need to do my stacks again. You're welcome. I got out of wearing stacks for a while, and I'm like, I am wearing stacks. Stacks are back in trend. I just need to do it. All right. I'm just going to measure for length because I want it to be longer than the last one. I think I'm going to do one more. I'm going to see where we're at on the other one. Yep, that one will be okay. I don't need to do one more. All right, so we have the 2 ends. You have the left hand, the right hand. I take my left hand and put it on top of my right hand string, and you create an X. Take the one on top, bring it around the back, and bring it through the center, and bring it close together, and I have a mistake. I put 2 of the same bead at the end, so I'd be out of my pattern. Hi, Rosie. So we have left over right. The one that's on top goes around, pull it close, but don't get it too tight yet. You don't need it tight on this first one. Then you take the right, do it over the left, and you see how I have a little hole right here? We're going to bring that through and then pull it tight. Check to make sure your knot stayed by taking on each side of that knot. Hold your beads and open it up. If your knot comes open, then redo it. That one's good. I'm going to set it down. Now here is the colors of our stack. Are they exactly the same? Nope, but they have some of the same colorings in there to create that stack. Now we're going to do our last one, and we got to pick out our beads for that one. I'm going to put them all back and decide on different ones here. I'm thinking I want this one. So we got that green. I'm wondering if I can bring in that one again. Yep. And then bring our purple again. I think that's what I'm going to do. Kind of use. Well, I got kits coming tonight. I got to make the video for the kit though. I haven't done that yet. I said I would have it out before we go live. So I still have a few more hours to get that video out there. All right, I'm going to do the same pattern that I did on the first one here, only I'm changing out the color green. So our greens are going to be all different colors, but we're going to have that same beige tone bead in each one and this bead. All right. Let's see what this one looks like together. Well, and I took your guys' advice when we were talking about the kits that we have for tonight. There are 5 necklaces for each kit. Some of them will have earrings and some will not. So there's a total of 60 kits going to be available tonight. That one, the hole is like closed on the one end. There we go. Ooh, look at that one. The only reason why I'm doing the same pattern for bracelet 1 and bracelet 3, thank you for the gift, Rose, that was sweet of you, is because we're not using the same color green across all, and our beige bead is changing between the bracelets. And so I thought if we can keep one of the patterns the same on 2 of them, it will make it more cohesive. That's the only reason. You can, oh, you're welcome. You can do it as 3 different patterns, which is what I did on the first one that I had as the example. Ooh, this one's turning out cool too. All 3 of these are just, to me, really neat. They can be worn individually or all together. And that's the part about stacks, is that you can wear them together or individually, however you want to do that. And not everybody will, thank you, Alice, for subscribing on YouTube. I am a gluer of my stretch cord. Not everybody is a gluer. That is a preference thing. I do it just so that I can make sure my bracelets are going to stay together. Yeah, I am the green. I love my green. And it's really funny because if my husband did not have a Kelly Green shop, You know what I'm talking about? That Kelly green aluminum or steel shops that you see like out on farms and stuff. My husband has a building that's that color. If we wouldn't have had that what color there, my house on the outside would actually be sage green. But because of that, they clash too much. So I was like, I can't have that. So we went with red instead. Our house is red. Yeah, I didn't. Did not use the favorite green, but I used greens. And if you guys saw how many green beads are in my collection, I actually have more green beads than any other color of bead. Ah, thank you. I'm glad. Yep, I need to do more. Okay. I was going to say, I go live on YouTube about 4 times a week. We have 2 chat times and 2 tutorial times. And then I also do shorts almost every day. Not quite every day, but almost. And is orange your favorite color, Miss Cherie? I'm loving this one. So there we go. I think I have enough, and let me double check. Yes, I do. Okay. All right. We're going to do once again, left over right. Bring that close together. See, you're not quite together, but close. And then right over left. Bring that top one around through that center hole and now pull it tight. And then that is there. So this is how the 3 bracelets will be worn together. I know. But I'm going to show you something here. I'm going to get the beads off the table here quick. So that, because if you have too much on the camera, it will not focus on what you want it to focus on. Whoop. I had these little containers out because when I went to do this one, they weren't my beads, so I didn't have them in my normal things like this. So I had to get out these containers. I don't normally use them, but hey, they work awesome to pour things into a container. All right. I use what I told you at the beginning, hypo cement glue. You just take the top off. It's got a little pointy hole or point that the glue comes out of. You open up your bracelet just a titch so that you can get to your knot, which is right here, and just put a dab of the glue on the knot. I let mine sit overnight. I do this step and do the gluing for all the beads at once because I will show you the pain in the butt it is to get this closed up. Because you got here, you got the glue coming off, so then you got to take the glue off. And then you got to put this little pointy needle thing inside that hole. And it doesn't work the best to try to get it in there every time. So that's why I do my gluing all at the end. Go in. There we go. Haha! Success finally. My YouTube channel is CarolJo's LLC. For those of you on TikTok, you can get to it by going to that CJS logo up here, and then down below somewhere you will see another CJS logo. And then there will be you're now in my profile after doing that. Hi, Ray. There is a line in there that says lemon 8 and more. Touch that line and 2 boxes come up down below. Oh, that's fine. It's always recorded. And then the bottom one will have the word tree in it of those 2 boxes. Touch that one and a list comes up. That list has all my social media and my website. Go to the bottom and that's where you'll be at. I have specific scissors I used to do this last step. These have been on my, like, I glued these days ago, but I just left them for here. So you see how it's glued together now. I've let it dry. I've got my little ends. What I do is that I come in with a very pointy scissor. These are just the little Fisker ones. I don't know what they're called. And as close to that knot as possible without cutting the knot. So like you're getting in there really close, just cut those ends off. And there it is. You can try to put it into a bead. I don't hide mine. People are always like, you should hide it. I don't, because do you spend time looking for it? Yes. Yes, probably. Joya, I'll explain that to everybody so everybody knows. I got two of them here. I'm cutting them off on. I made these 2. They didn't go together. So then I ended up changing out the beads and going with these. So that's how these 2 ended up happening. I can sell these individually. They're not part of a stack. But here's the example of the stack that I showed, or that I used as my example. Somebody was filtered. I'm going to come up here for a moment. There we go. There we go. All right. So Joya asked over here on TikTok if I'm going to use Neptune if it's out before March of 2026 for sales. And that would be my goal as long as I have the following of individuals when Neptune comes out. The thing with, I could still continue to use, if it were still available, TikTok, but once they come out with M is to replace TikTok. So I would need everybody to come over to M, and it's like, no matter what I do, you're going to have to build up your community again. And that's a hard thing to do. So that is my plan, is that as soon as Neptune is out and available, I'm going to start building Neptune and have that. Yep, we'll be all starting over. Yes, Neptune is for iPhone only first, and they have yet to get it onto the platform so that we can use it. They ran into problems. M is going to be the US replacement of TikTok because of everything. They keep saying we can keep TikTok, but ultimately our government does not like TikTok. And so they will be replacing TikTok with M. It will be owned by Oracle, but it's supposed to also be developed by, I cannot think of the parent company to TikTok. Something Dance. I cannot think of it, the name of it. And so what it means is that we will have to restart our social media platform again for the TikTok replacement. Butane. So here is, I'm going to show you guys, here's our stack that we made today. When you think harvest, I'm loving that one. It corrected you. Bite dance. That's what it is. Yes, M will be more government controlled. But the thing that I want to tell people is everybody says, well, the government isn't in stuff today, yada, yada, yada. Working in the financial world in my past, there are things that people don't know about. If you researched it, you could find it out. Our government knows so much about us. It is unreal. Um, if for an example, because I'm dealing with this with Buttercup and having her non-custodial parent that was supposed to be paying child support for her prior to us having guardianship of her, has you go through all this stuff when you're a guardian to be able to get the child support. And you would not believe what they do to try to get information about non-custodial parents. And I mean, I remember having stuff that we had to do for non-custodial parents too when I was in the financial world. That's just an example. Yes, we will not have any other entity outside of the US on M. I know some about it, but I can't get into what I do know about it because some of the information that I know is because of what I do. Not here, but outside of here. So yes, we will not be able to see anybody that are bead friends from outside of the US. Meta is like Facebook, Instagram, and a couple other businesses are what Meta owns or is the parent company of. And so we can continue to use that. But for me, Instagram and Facebook, what that is that they don't push me out to other people to come in. So like today, like Alice ended up subscribing because she was scrolling. So YouTube and TikTok push me out based on their algorithms. And then you guys get the choice to decide to subscribe if you're on YouTube or to follow like you are on TikTok. And so because of that, that's why I don't have a big like for the Meta platforms, is because I have to go find the people. They don't have the people find me. Does that make sense? No, the government isn't going to own M. Oracle and ByteDance will own them. So, but they are putting regulations on it. Yeah, and Cherie's got friends that are in the UK. We have our Chinese friends. We also, like Joy has, friends and family in Italy. So that's going to be the stinky part about it. So we need to find a platform besides M that will allow us to be worldwide. I personally do not ship worldwide, but it doesn't mean that what we are doing here on this platform cannot be worldwide. And good evening to you. It's the daytime here. And the reason why I say that is what I am teaching when I am like on YouTube can be taught worldwide. As long as you can understand my English, you guys can make jewelry then. And that's why I would love to have something that will be able to push us out worldwide. And that's what Neptune will be able to do. So yes, that is what's coming. And this is what I'm also going to say. They said M will be created in March of 2026. I have been in the technology world for 20 years. When YouTube went dark, Neptune tried to work on going and getting a replacement. They are still not up and running. I know that was back in January, but they had made plans that it was going to be done now, and it's still not up. And so because of that, I'm not holding my breath on March of 2026. That's what I'm going to say. I am in the United States. So that's what I'm going to say. But I do see, because of having that technology background and trying to get into businesses with technology, I did, before they even did the Oracle stuff right now, did sign up to get emails about jobs that they have available there. And it's so funny because as soon as that announcement went out, let me tell you, the jobs just went whoop up. I'm like, they actually had openings for what I used to do. I was like, that's funny. I think I have an idea of what's coming. And sure shooting it did. I know I'm going to laugh because I'm like, I wonder. And it came through. So yes, that was my premonition about, I thought this is what was going to happen. They were trying to ramp up teams to get it going. But to get something from an idea to actual use, very difficult to get that done in less than a year. I will be totally brutally honest with you. And so we'll see. We'll see how much they get out there. We're talking about what we're going to do when M comes around and we get when we go to it. I was a business analyst, and that's where in February my job went away. That was my old job. But I have been a business analyst in the financial world and in the insurance world. And now I also am on the board of directors for a credit union. So I'm back in the financial world. So, yep. So that's my background. Well, you know what's really funny, Lori, is that I go to lunch with one of my old coworkers. And the other day, she's like, we were working on something and we needed your help, but we can't call you. And I'm like, nope, that would be wrong on her part. And they were working with a third party and they're like, please, can you? And she's like, nope. I mean, it's her job. I would not want to risk her job. Oh, geez. What's in the small boxes behind me on the trays? They're beads. Let me show you here. We have a few minutes. So this one's upside down. There we go. There's containers in each one of these. So we have the large containers, medium, small, and then these right here are tiny, in a tray with a lid on it. And then the handles come down to take it off. And then you have your little container. That's how I store my beads. And then you can take them, these, and then you can take the little containers with you on the go if you need to. I love them. They're called Elizabeth Ward Bead Storage Solution. And it's funny, Lori, that is so funny that you said it. Oh, here's what one looks like. Here, you use this little thing here and you open it like that, and then that's your container. So the thing is, they eliminated the position that I had, not just my position, but every single business analyst. There were 12 of us in the company, and we were all of our positions were eliminated on the same day at the same time. And so it is what it is. They are having to, because of their decision, figure things out, and that's their choice. I have never had ill will about what happened. You're very welcome. And I was thinking about my Thankful Thursday post yesterday. I just ran out of time to do it. But I have to say, I have never, yep, I do this full time. I've never been upset about what happened with the position being eliminated. I have never been mad at the company over it. There are a couple of things that they did that on a personal level just kind of yeek. and that was I thought I would be able to go in and clean my desk. Yes, I worked from home, but I still had a desk there, and I went in once every 2 weeks to my desk. They packed up my desk and shipped it to me overnight. And then I had to ship my computer back to them. Let me tell you, I had to go into Sioux Falls to ship my computer back. The place I needed to drop it off at was about 8 blocks away from the office. And then it was overnighted to them. Why couldn't I just drop it off at the office? Hello. Those types of those two things are the biggest things that I'm just like, it just didn't feel personal. It felt like you're a number. Otherwise, I don't have any ill about it. I am very thankful about it because it allowed me to do this full time. And it has allowed me to, with the transition of having Buttercup, we were in the middle of Girl Scout cookie sales. We wouldn't have been able to help her make as many sales and not be as stressed had I not had the time to do it, because we had time. I didn't have my 40-hour work day. I did this instead, and I can be very flexible with my hours. Taking her into her summer program, I am not tied to a time. If she is tired, I'm going to let her sleep an extra hour, and it's not a big deal as long as we get everything done. So that's why, like with what Joya said, the Lord will provide. I really truly think that's happening for me right now. And I'm happy. I am happier. I am less stressed. I am loving it. And it's just something and it's also taught me more about how to run my business better. As you've seen, this week alone, I showed you the examples and I said, I'm bringing these up for sale this day and this day. And this is the parts that are going to be here throughout. Here's where you can buy some of the beads, that type of thing, and being able to be cohesive. If you've noticed, my social media posts this week are one quote has been able to go into the other two posts that I've done this week. I don't know that I can do it for today's post, but it would have tied in with what I wanted to do yesterday. I just didn't get time to do it. And so literally I am finding ways to be more cohesive about everything that I'm doing here. And when I do that, I am less stressed. So it's all for a better purpose. They're asking over here on YouTube about my family. I am married to my husband, love him dearly. His name is Ryan. We will talk about Ryan and his cars all the time. We have, between the two of us, 4 children, and they are ages 29 to 22. And we have 1 grandchild. She is with me right now. I have guardianship over her. And she lives with us full time, and we call her Buttercup. We don't use her first name here. If I accidentally say it, it's a boo-boo. And we also do not show her on social media very often. Every once in a while, she'll accidentally or purposely get in a picture, but we try to protect her identity as much as possible because she is a child. And well, and the thing is that they've done that before, Rose, where they allowed the employees to come back in. You're welcome. And I thought they were going to do it this time. This is the first time they didn't do it. So it was really weird, but it's okay. And Joya, that is one thing I keep tell people is, just turn it over to God. I know that sounds, and I don't usually talk about my religion on here a whole lot because we can all have different religions, and the things because this is a jewelry type thing, I usually try to keep it to jewelry. So we don't talk politics, religion, or, that type of thing. But I will say, one of the things that I have been saying to people when they're very upset, I said, did you turn it over to God? And that's because once you do that, sometimes you'll find this inner peace. And it's, if that's your religion, then you'll get that inner peace. And that's what I'm going to say about it. I'm not going to turn it into this is my religion type thing. I do strongly believe in mine. I just don't try to promote it here because that's not what this platform's about. It's about a positive place. But I think that. Oh, well, I honestly, Deborah, thank every one of you, because if I didn't have you guys coming in here and purchasing the items from me when we do it on TikTok, I wouldn't be able to do it because there's not enough coins that come around for teaching the classes. And I don't want to promote that we are to give coins for the classes at all. That's a TikTok thing to push us out. But I just love being able to teach. And there are some that out here that do charge to learn, like how to do your business and that type of thing. And that's just not who I am. My job right now is I teach. This is what I say when people ask me what I do. I go, I use social media platforms to teach people how to create jewelry, how to run their small businesses, allow them to ask any questions that they have about jewelry or small businesses, and then also sell the items that they need to make the jewelry. That is my job. I don't know how else to explain it to get it for people to understand. I was going to say, those of you on TikTok, is that a synopsis of what I do? And so I really, truly have a small business that is geared to what I like and what I want to do. It's really what it is. So when you think about, if you ever want to have, you're a teacher of English. That is so cool. So what is your primary language then? The one thing that I will tell people if they want to start a business, find something that you love to do. You're going to have to also like to do some of the things that it's not just that. I had to learn how to do marketing. I've had to learn how to do the website, doing that kind of stuff. Thank you, Joya. And so that is one thing that I will say when people ask me about why did I choose it? And I was like, because I love it. Yes, I will have the 25 millimeters. And then once I get off the live here, I have a couple of things I need to work on. One of them is creating the video for the kit that I have for tonight. The kit is called Simply Grace. And so I got to create the video for that one. And then I am going to go back through all the cabochons to figure out what sizes I have. I know I have 25 millimeter size round cabochons in a pendant setting and in connectors. And of all things, I thought I would have this order here by today. They told me it was going to be here today, so I was so excited. I was going to get it ready. I have more cabochons in settings coming, but they are in Illinois right now, so they're ways away from me, so I will not have them. What? I'm not going to have those cabochons for this sale, but I will bring them up in a cabochon sale soon. I do have some new cabochons and new settings, though, because I got those. I had 2 orders. I'm just happy today. I really am. I know I'm laughing, but I got up, I started working, and I'm like, this is what I want to do. And literally, it was like fun. I've had a fun day. So, okay, yep, the 25 millimeter ones will be up tomorrow. So tonight at 7, we are going to have, I do have 2 Halloween things tonight. I have 5 more of those black pendants. They're not the black and white. These ones are going to be all black. I will have a Halloween pendant, which when we get into it, I'll explain why. I don't understand why they called it what they called it, but we'll get there. And then I will have a porcelain bead tonight that is is a skull in orange. I will have wood beads in like a smaller rondelle, which will work good for this style of bracelet. So let me tell you, when you're going to do a stack, that would be like making that one with like a couple others, I think would be really cool. I look at that one and that's what I see that bead for some reason. So we got that. We have a few natural stones. And what else do we have? I'm trying to remember them all. We have a lot of glass, but it was because of these two bracelets. I grabbed some more colors that are the harvesty fall colors. So we got that. And I'm missing something. Oh, we have the chain that we had for our necklace that we did. The Simply Timeless necklace here. This chain will be up for sale. I will have these, I think, no, I had those the other night. The 6mm, it's that. Ah, there you are. And we're gonna have fall color glass pearls in 1 6mm, 1 8, and 1 10. 110. So that's what we have for some of them now. So that is what we have up 7 p.m. tonight. Cabochon tomorrow at 10 a.m. All right. I think I got everything. I'm going to hop off so I can record that video for the Simply Grace necklace. And then we'll do that. And then I'm going to finish up. I have a couple more things to finish up for tonight's live. And then I'm going to get ready for tomorrow's. Yes, that's what I couldn't think of. I will have the silver 3-hole spacer right here, this one. I will have that tonight. They are in a package of 15. And don't ask me the price because I don't remember. All right. I hope that by just talking about it and how you can put beads together helps you guys spark some creativity to put other colors together. That was what I really wanted, the intent of it was. All right, everybody. You have a great afternoon. We'll see you at 7 p.m. and that's going to be on TikTok only. So we'll see you then. Bye, everybody.